In a few moments, we'll return to the show.
And let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, yeah, in other words. In other words, I love you.
In a few moments, we'll return to the show, but first, a word from our sponsor, Lux Toilet Soap. Hello, ladies. You look stunning.
Thank you, Mr. Smart.
Men seldom know about dress styles, but we notice is good grooming. A perfect hairdo, fresh, beautifully cared for skin, those are the essentials.
I'm never without a supply of Lux toilet soap. I depend on it for daily complexion care.
Daily Lux soaps, facials do make skin lovelier. I cover my face with the fragrant Lux soap lather and work it in well.
I rinse with warm water, then cold, and use a soft towel to pat my skin dry. Give skin a quick new beauty.
Recent tests prove in 3 out of 4 complexions become softer and smoother in just a short time.
A lovely Lux commercial makes a woman so attractive. I wish every girl would try Lux Toilet Soap.
9 out of 10 screen stars recommend Lux toilet soap, so you know it has to be good.
For beautifully cared for skin, try Lux Toilet Soap today. And now, back to the show.
The golden age of radio.
Not quite yet. Okay. Okay, so first I'd like to welcome everybody here. Thank you all so much for coming. We're thrilled to have you. It looks like we have a small audience today, so please feel free to move forward if you like. Actually, change seats every 2 minutes, so it looks like we have a full house. That's right. Yeah, we should have. So, but we're thrilled you're here, and I just want to remind you to turn off your cell phones. If you haven't done that yet, now's a good time to do it, because we have live sound effects here. We certainly don't want them thinking it's their cue, right? And if you need to use the restrooms and the drinking fountain are right out this door. These doors make a lot of noise, so if you could be really quiet when you open and close them, we'd really appreciate that. My name is Sherri Allen. This is the impact of radio on our lives. This culminates our 16-week semester, and we've had so much fun. This is our holiday comedy show, and we hope you enjoy it. So, and if you'd like to sign up for this class, or our wonderful improv class that we have on Tuesdays at the Encinitas Library and on Wednesdays here, the enrollment information is on the back of your program. And as always, this class is dedicated to Leon Levy, who originated the class, and he is loved and missed. One last thing, we do have one actor out sick today, which is Ruth Kadison, and we're so sorry she can't be here. So we have an understudy going on for her today, which is Birgitt Ripa, who will be in the Goldbergs script. So we have a wonderful assortment of scripts for you today, including Our Miss Brooks, My Friend Irma, the Goldbergs, and some funny, ridiculous commercials. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our MC, Ruth Ann Duncan, who's going to tell you a little bit about the history of radio. So take it away, Ruth.
The golden age of radio lasted from the 1920s until the late 1950s, and even into the early 1960s. And every day, shortly after sunset, America would pull her chair up to a little box and spend a delightful evening as magically fiction was made to come alive. Welcome to the impact of radio on our lives. My Friend Irma features dependable, level-headed Jane and the mystic adventures of her innocent, scatterbrained roommate, Irma. Irma works as a stenographer for the lawyer, Mr. Clyde. Irma and Jane live together in an apartment rented from their Irish landlady, Mrs. O'Reilly. Irma's boyfriend is Al, a deadbeat who has not held a job in years. Maestro Vanderkin is the Russian violinist who lives upstairs. And now, enjoy.
My name's Jane. I have a friend named Irma.
Which means it's time for your favorite comedy show, My Friend Irma.
Cookie, it's getting late. Will you turn out the lights and go to bed?
All right. Gee, it's so dark.
Yeah. Go to sleep, will you, honey?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What are you doing?
I'm counting fellas so I can go to sleep.
Oh, you're supposed to count sheep.
You go to sleep the way you want to go to sleep, and I'll go to sleep the way I want to go to sleep.
Okay, suit yourself.
Jane,
What is it, Irma?
what side do you generally sleep on?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I sleep on my back.
I usually sleep on my right side. You see, my office is downtown. When I get up in the morning, I like to start off in the right direction.
Oh, for Pete's sake. Will you cut it out? Oh, by the way, did you leave a note for the milkman?
Note?
Well, yeah, to tell him not to leave any more milk this week. He left 4 quarts last time.
I know. That was my fault. I asked him to.
Why?
Well, I was going to take a milk bath. It was supposed to be very good for the complexion. But when I read what milk does, I changed my mind.
What was it you read?
That milk has calcium and builds strong bones.
So?
I don't want to have bony skin.
Irma, will you put the note and the milk bottle out in the hall and go to
Yes,
sleep?
Jane.
Ah! Oh my gosh, Irma, what's the matter? Get out from under that bed.
No, there's a ghost running down the hall.
A ghost? What are you talking about?
I tell you, I saw him, Jane. A real, live, dead ghost.
Irma, will you stop imagining things?
No, Janie, I saw a real ghost. Oh, Janie, I'm scared. What are we gonna do?
Well, personally, I never believed in ghosts. They've been scientifically proven to be non-existent.
But then, what are you doing under the bed with me?
Yes, I'm not the scientific type. Irma, was this ghost wearing a long white sheet?
Yeah, how did you know?
Oh, well, I might as well tell you. Come on, let's get out from under the bed.
Okay,
I saw the same ghost running down the hall last Tuesday.
you did?
Yeah. Thought I might be imagining things, so I didn't say anything.
Oh, Jane, this is Tuesday.
I know it is.
You saw him last Tuesday?
Yeah.
Maybe he only haunts on Tuesdays. You know, a union ghost. Jane, what can we do if he comes in here?
The closest thing is the dumbwaiter. We can get out through there.
But it's down in the basement.
Time comes, I'm not going to worry about details. You know, this whole thing is ridiculous. I'm sure it's just our imagination, and I'm positively not going to be frightened by any more of this.
Oh! Jane, I wish you'd get under your own bed this time.
Irma, I'm getting terrified now. Somebody's knocking on the door.
Do you think it might be
I don't know. I'm going to find out.
you there, knocking on the door? Are you a ghost?
No, but the way I live, I wish I was dead.
That's the maestro. Irma, slip on your robe.
Okay.
Just a second, maestro.
Hello, girls.
Oh, gosh, are we happy to see you. What are you doing up at this hour?
Indigestion. Mrs. O'Reilly made a dinner for me.
But I thought you ate at home tonight.
I did. This is from last week. Girls, I've never seen you this pale. What's that makeup on your face? Cold cream?
No, ghost cream.
Ghost of cream?
Maestro, I know this must sound stupid to you, but Irma and I have both seen ghosts running down the hall.
You have?
Yes.
Make room for another idiot.
You mean,
Yeah. I saw it 2 weeks ago. On Tuesday night.
well, what did you do?
Well, being I'm a man, there was only one thing I could do. Faint.
Well, what are we gonna do about this?
Well, why don't we call up the exterminating company and tell them to come here and spray?
Irma.
Personally, I can't see why any self-respecting ghost would want to haunt this place. Cemeteries are much more livable.
I think we should call Mrs. O'Reilly.
Irma, we can't do that.
But that'll get rid of the ghost.
How?
Well, you know, she doesn't allow people in here unless they sign a lease.
Oh, this is one thing we can't do. Tell her. I think we ought to wait and then...
There it is, the ghost again. Everybody be still.
Yoo-hoo, girls! If it's not the ghost, it's an old vampire bat.
Now listen, not a word about this to Mrs. O'Reilly. She may not believe us and she'll think we're just trying to defame her building and she'll throw us out.
Yeah, you got a point there, because, come to think of it, the ghost was a man. She would have caught him a long time ago.
Now remember, no one tell her, and that means you, Irma.
Oh, you can count on me, Jane. I know how to play dumb. Come in, Mrs. O'Reilly.
Oh, hello, girls. Is everything all right? I heard a commotion up here.
Oh, everything's fine. Mrs. O'Reilly, I'm sure you couldn't find a ghost around here for miles.
Oh, swell.
Ghost? You should excuse Irma, Miss O'Reilly. Seeing you with your hair in curlers, your face without makeup, she thought that maybe you were getting ready to haunt the house.
Oh, glory be, I forgot all about me appearance. I must look a mess.
Well, I wouldn't say a mess, but give me time, I'll think of the word. I know, disaster.
I'll thank you to keep your insults to yourself. Girls, why do you look so pale?
Well, we saw a mouse.
Yeah, about 6 feet tall, wearing a white sheet.
You girls don't make sense. And Maestro, what are you doing here at this hour?
Well, me? Well, I walk into my sleep.
How come?
If you had the mattress I had, you'd do a lot of walking too.
Really, Mrs. O'Reilly, there's nothing wrong. And what Irma said about ghosts, it's ridiculous. Isn't it, Irma?
I'm not spooking until I'm spooking too.
Irma, go on, Mrs. O'Reilly, go back to bed. You need your beauty sleep.
Offhand, about the 60 years.
Now, just for that, I insist you walk me down to me door. You know, I'm afraid of the dark. Someone might try to carry me off.
Not if he's carrying a flashlight.
You see, she didn't find out anything from me.
You did everything but draw her a road map. Now, come on, get in bed and let's forget the whole thing.
All right.
And I'll turn out the light. Oh, good night, Cookie.
Good night, Jane. Jane,
Yes.
what does a ghost really look like?
Oh, I don't know, honey. The ones I've seen pictures of are all bones.
Maybe we ought to get a dog.
Irma, will you please go to sleep?
All right. Good night, Jane. Jane, did you hear that?
Yeah, but now I'm really terrified. It can't be Mrs. O'Reilly. It can't be the maestro. We're here in bed.
Gee, it must be some unearthly creature. I'll find out. Who's at the door?
Hey, chicken, it's me, Al.
You're right. It's some unearthly creature. Let him in.
Well, all right. Just a second, Al. I'm putting my robe on.
Hey, hiya, chicken.
Oh, Al, You don't know how glad we are to see you.
I saw the light in your window and was just on my way home from work.
I thought the pool room closed at 9. Sit down, Al. Sit down and make yourself at home. You know, I really like you, Al.
You do? Hey, most of the times you imply that I'm obnoxious.
Well, that's only during the week. On Tuesdays, you're lovely.
Oh, Al, you're a brave man, aren't you?
Well, you know my war record, chicken. I've got the biggest victory garden on the block.
What we're trying to say, nothing terrifies you, does it, Al?
Nothing in the world. Why, having trouble?
Yes, Al.
Well then, I'm your man. Now, just who is this guy that's been causing the trouble?
Well, he isn't exactly a man. It's hard to describe.
Well, who is he? Who is he? Or is it a she?
I don't think so.
A kid?
Well...
Go on, tell me. I don't care if it's a dame or a kid. I ain't afraid of either one.
See? I told you, he's as brave as they come.
Come on, chicken, tell me. How much does this bum weigh?
Practically nothing.
I'll murder him.
Oh, Al, you're wonderful. Come on, Jane, we can sleep in peace. When that ghost comes back, my Al will take care of him.
You got it.
Won't you, Al? Al? Al?
Your hero just went.
Huh?
Yeah, he was as brave as they come, and as they come, he went. Come on, Irma, we've got to pull ourselves together. If we don't get some sleep, we won't be able to get up for work. Now, come on, honey.
All right, Jane. Wait a minute. I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
Jane, I'll only be a minute.
Oh, Irma, get back here. I'm scared. Irma?
There. Now that ghost won't dare come near us.
Why? What did you do?
I just put a sign on the door. Measles.
Miss Peterson. Miss Peterson. Miss Peterson.
Oh, yes, Mr. Clyde.
Will you please stop yawning? It frightens me.
Why?
Your mouth is open, and I'm afraid you're going to talk. Take this letter, please.
All right, Mr. Clyde. I'm ready, and I'm wide awake.
Good, good. To Mr. John Schwartz, President, Snack Fruit Zipper Company, New York City, New York.
Got it.
Got it. You idiot, you can't write with a nail file.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's the matter with you, Miss Peterson?
Mr. Clyde, have you ever had a sleepless night?
Yes, right after the morning I hired you.
No, seriously. Jane and I were up all last night. I saw a ghost.
A ghost?
Yes, I think the apartment we live in is haunted.
Well, my dear girl, you have no problem. If you want to get rid of the ghost, it's simple.
How?
Talk to him for a while. He'll leave. I know many times after talking to you, I wanted to leave this earth.
Oh no, Mr. Clyde. This is serious. I'm not getting any sleep, and I just don't have any vitality. In other words, when I get here, I'm not all there.
You can be anywhere and you're not all there. Of all the silly, preposterous stories seeing a ghost.
Well, I did. I saw him Tuesday night, and Jane saw him last Tuesday night. Hey, and the maestro saw him the Tuesday night before that.
Miss Peterson, there's no such thing as a ghost. It's an apparition.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Not one of us ever had surgery. Oh, furthermore, I think...
How do you like that? She's fallen asleep.
Huh?
Miss Peterson, Miss Peterson, look, I don't want to be a hard-hearted boss. Miss Peterson, but oh, are you sure you saw a ghost?
Positively. He was running down the hall.
Fast?
Real fast.
Well, he sounds peppier than you. You go home and send him here to work.
You're not going to help me, Mr. Clyde.
Help you? I want to tell you something, Miss Peterson. I'm running a law office. If you don't come to work with all your senses, as limited as they are, I'm going to replace you. Because right now, your non-compass is incoherent, lackadaisical, and completely dispensable.
I am?
Positively.
Mr. Clyde, would you please put that in writing?
Why?
I might want a reference for my next boss.
Get out of here.
That you, sweetie?
Hello, Jane.
What's the matter, Cookie? Trouble at the office?
Gee, we've got to do something. Mr. Clyde said that if I don't get enough sleep at home, he's gonna fire me. But he gave me a very nice reference.
He did?
Yes, he said I was non-compos mentis. And if I remember my French, that means right on the ball.
Oh, honey, I've got a headache. Take it easy, will ya?
Were you sleepy at the office?
Sleepy. I drank so much black coffee I've developed a Brazilian accent. You know, this is dreadful, Irma. Let's get to bed early and get a good night's sleep.
All right, Jane.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm hanging the sheet over the clothes tree. If a ghost comes, he'll see we've already been haunted.
Miss Peterson, this is Thursday, and you're still asleep at your desk. Don't tell me you saw the ghost last night.
No, but we were awake all night waiting for him to show up.
Miss Peterson, this is Friday, the third morning I found you sleeping on the job.
Oh, Mr. Clyde, I'm so dopey.
That is the understatement of the year. Miss Peterson, this is Tuesday morning.
Ooh, tonight's the night. Oh, Mr. Clyde, what shall I do if I see him running down the hall again?
Just take him by the hand and ask him to lead you to the unemployment office. You're fired.
Oh. Jane?
That you, Cookie? Irma, what's wrong?
I've been fired.
Oh, that's terrible. How are we going to get along?
What do you mean?
Oh, I've been fired too. Well, rather, I told Richard I just couldn't go on taking a salary and coming to work every morning half asleep. Irma, do you know, time's come for action. We'll just have to tell Mrs. O'Reilly the truth and move. When we get back to normal, I'm sure we can get our jobs back. Come in.
It's a me again, Maestro Duncan. Well, girls, it's a Tuesday night again. I thought maybe you'd like to go for a little walk.
Walk? Where to?
Boston. We can be back tomorrow.
No, Maestro, no. We've decided to face the issue. We're going to tell Mrs. O'Reilly we think the place is haunted, and we're moving.
Oh, no, girls. You can't move. It'll break my heart.
Well, we can't sleep. Can you?
Well, yeah, but only because I keep telling myself the ghost is much better off than I am.
What do you mean?
When I saw him, he was wearing a clean white sheet. I should only get such service.
Well, we've had all we can take, and I'm calling Mrs. O'Reilly. Mrs. O'Reilly, will you please come up here?
Who's doing all that yelling?
Oh, gee, I'm sorry, Mrs. Martin. Did I wake the baby?
No, but please be quiet.
I'll be right up, Jeannie.
Please.
Now, Irma, I'll do the talking.
Okay.
What has all my life come to that you girls are going to leave? And yet, how can I stop you? I saw the ghost with my own eyes.
If I could only figure out who it was that was coming back to haunt me. It couldn't be my school teacher. The day I graduated, she said she never wanted to see me again.
Irma.
Yoo-hoo! It's me, Mrs. O'Reilly.
Come in.
Hello, girls. Maestro.
Good evening.
What's
trouble, Janie, darling?
Well, Mrs. O'Reilly, I don't know how to begin this.
Mrs. O'Reilly, we want the truth. Have you rented out one of your apartments to a person who is not living?
What? No, they're all living. A couple of them are deadbeats, but they're still alive.
Look, what we're trying to say, Mrs. O'Reilly, is, well, I know this sounds unbelievable, but every Tuesday night a ghost in a white sheet has been roaming the halls.
Glory be, are you sure?
You can ask the maestro, he's seen him too.
That's all right, Mrs. O'Reilly. Probably someone who died over 1,000 years ago. He keeps coming back to find out what keeps you going.
Oh, shut up.
I hate to say this, Mrs. O'Reilly, but Irma and I haven't slept a wink since it happened. We're gonna have to find another place to live.
A ghost in my building. Ah, glory be. I believe I know who it is.
You do?
Yes, it must be me late husband, Clancy. The poor man probably misses me.
I thought that's why he went in the first place, to get away from you.
Bite your tongue. My poor dear Clancy worshipped me. He practically threw himself at me feet.
This could only be because he wanted to escape, and he thought they were boats.
Now listen here, you.
Now, please, this is no time to argue. You'll have to do something about this.
Well, I'm convinced it's Clancy, and there's only one way to handle the situation.
How?
If I could get through to him, you know, hold a seance, and explain to him that he's frightening the tenants.
Seance? I've heard of red ants and picnic ants, but sea ants? Do they swim?
Irma.
Now, Janie, put out the lights. We can all sit around the table holding hands so I can make contact with the spirits.
Mrs. O'Reilly, let's have no drinking at this hour.
Oh, Cookie. Mrs. O'Reilly, don't you think it's just a little ridiculous?
Janie, I know what I'm doing. Turn out the lights.
Oh, all right.
Fine. Now that we're in complete darkness, everybody hold hands.
All right, but I warn you, you're not using this as an excuse to get fresh. I'll leave.
You stay. Now, everyone concentrate. I'll try to make contact with Clancy. Oh, Clancy, without there, you. Clancy, this is Kathleen, remember me? Will you not be coming in a little stronger?
I thought I'd channel too.
Be still. Clancy, oh cousin, this is your little Cupid doll.
Who now looks like a baseball has been thrown at her.
Maestro.
Oh, Clancy, come to us, Clancy.
Isn't he polite? He's knocking before he comes in. Come in, Clancy.
Hey, hiya, folks. Hey, what are you all doing sitting around the table? There ain't no food on it.
Well, Mrs. O'Reilly's holding a siesta.
Seance.
Seance? What for?
I'm trying to get through to my late husband, Clancy, so he'll stop haunting this building. Now just sit down and hold hands with the person next to you. Put out the lights, please.
Okay.
Now concentrate, everyone. Clancy, Clancy, I'm calling you out there in the spirit world. Ah, I think I'm getting something. Oh, I see a small light in the distance.
It's the one in the refrigerator. Al, will you please sit down?
Okay.
Go on. See if you can dial him in.
Clancy, if you love me, please answer.
He answered.
Sounds like he's running away.
He must have seen you.
Somebody quick, go to the door, see if he's there.
Oh, no, not to me. No.
Hey, I'll go. I bet it worked.
You bet what worked?
I put carpet tacks in the hall.
Carpet tacks? Wait a minute. I'll be back.
Oh, where is she going?
Gee, I don't know.
Mrs. O'Reilly, the seance is over. You can let go of my hand.
What's the hurry? I want to talk to a few more ghosts I know.
Well, Jean, what's the news? Did you see the ghost?
Oh, yeah, I saw him.
Jane, what are you laughing at?
Mrs. Martin has him by the ears.
The ghost?
Yeah?
Honey, will you please explain?
Okay, every Tuesday night, Mr. Martin has a poker game, so he can't sneak out to meet the boys. And Mrs. Martin hides his clothes, so he runs down the hall in his sheet. Good night, Irma.
Good night, Jane.
My friend Irma is a side Howard production. Let's give a round of applause to our cast. For 17 years, the Goldbergs was a popular radio show, which in 1949 became TV's first character-driven sitcom. The very first Best Actress Emmy was awarded to Gertrude Berg, the creator, the writer, and star. This is the NBC Radio Network. We now present from 1931 the Goldbergs in an episode titled Jake, a Businessman. There she is, folks. That's Molly Goldberg, a woman with a place in every heart and a finger in every pie.
Jake, it's Shabbos. You must go to work today. But Jake, you always tell me you're Viking. Oh, what business, Saturday, Sunday, holidays all the time. That's business. It's a slavery, just like Uncle Tom's cabinet.
Cabin, Mama?
I go to business, not work, Molly.
But before you was a businessman, we used to go out a little. For 6 months, we don't even go to a moving picture.
Molly, such a slavery is a pleasure, don't worry.
That's so foolish. You used to love the movies, don't you remember? Oh, what a fool I am by Rudyard Kipling.
Mama, you mean A Fool There Was by Rudyard Kipling.
And the Jake, the 10 Commanders, that was some picture.
10 Commandments, Mama.
If you want to go to a show, Molly, take a Rosie and go.
You got a partner, and you can't even take off half-day Saturday?
Mendel, a partner? I'm the brains from the firm. He's a silence partner.
What's a silence partner?
Well, take my name. J-A-K-E. The E is silence. It's there and it ain't there. That's a silence partner.
All right, all right.
Papa, can I have a bicycle for my birthday?
That's a bicycle. I'll buy for you a tricycle.
Ah, better to buy him a good violin. You didn't even hear Sammy playing. Sammy, quick, while Papa is eating his breakfast, play for him something on the violin. Oh, Jake, open the window and let Mrs. Bloom hear how it's beautiful.
Oh, Sammy, that's wonderful. Molly, it's 8 o'clock off already. It's late.
Jake, wipe off your mustache. You got coffee all over. Here's your coat.
There's my hat, Molly.
Sammy, where's Papa's hat?
How should I know?
Go look in the hall.
Boy, every day the same thing. If I put my hat on the mantelpiece, why do you always take it away?
Sammy, did you find Daddy's hat?
I don't see it.
Look with your eyes.
What else am I looking with?
Close the fresh mouth, Sammy. Molly, when I put the hat on the mantelpiece, leave it on the mantelpiece.
All right, don't get excited.
Rosie, why don't you look for the hat?
Don't live out the temper on the child.
Papa, the hat's on your head.
On my head. Oh, did you ever?
Thanks God. Oh, the excitement for nothing.
I'll be in the office overtime. Goodbye.
Sammy, do the violin, please.
Ma, can't I practice when I come home from the scout meeting?
No, mein child, voice the music.
All right. Let's get it over with.
Let's get it over. It's like a poison to you. Oi.
Oh, all right. Let's tune up, Rose.
It takes you a year to tune up.
Ah, Rosie, go over to Tante Elka. She got a letter from Europe, and I'd like to know what's going on at home.
Tell Sammy to go, Ma, so I can help you with the dishes.
Ma told you first, didn't she? Why do I always have to go? I won't go, Ma, and that's all.
Listen, Samala, if you had brothers and sisters, and a mama thousands miles away, and if came a letter, wouldn't you?
All right. I'll go. But gee, Rosie, wait till I get you after.
Sammy,
But you told her to go, didn't you?
button up your neck. You shouldn't catch a cold.
Oh, leave me alone. It's too tight.
You tell Tante Elka to come on over a little after.
Will you let me go already? I only hope Tante Elke doesn't kiss me. Goodbye.
Ah, what a family. Your father a boss, Sammy a Boy Scout, and Rosalie, what are you?
I'm a Girl Scout, Mama, and it's wonderful. You learn so many things. Where's the dish rag?
Never mind, leave the dishes, you'll spoil your hands.
Then I can go now, Mama?
Yes, why not?
All right, Mama, darling. I won't be late. Don't be lonesome.
Why should I be lonesome? It's the first time I'm alone. Go, darling. Have a good time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, Mrs. Bloom, how was the chicken? Mine was hard as a stone. Did you get a letter from Doris since she got married? Such a beautiful gal what she was. Oh, wait, Mrs. Bloom, it's my doorbell. Must be the Iceman. No ice today, tomorrow. Oh, 1 minute, Mrs. Bloom.
It's just me, Ma. Tante Elke said she'd bring you the letter herself. She wants to read it to Uncle first.
Wait a minute, where are you running? Is a fire someplace?
Ma, I'm late. I've got to go. Say, Ma, can I have a nickel?
Here's 10 cents. Buy yourself a malted.
Goodbye, Ma.
Goodbye. Oh, don't run. No wonder you're skinny like a stick. Molly, I was gonna tell you, Mrs. Bloom, mine Jake, he's gonna be a manufacturer soon. He makes his own money already. He got a book. He writes Jacob Goldberg on a piece from paper, and that's all. And it's real money. You should see. Oh, excuse me, Mrs. Blum. My doorbell is ringing. Who's that?
Telephone man,
What?
New York Telephone Company. I got an order to put a telephone in your apartment.
No, you got a mistake.
Is this Jacob Goldberg?
Yes, sure.
Well, it's for you. Say, lady, I ain't got all day. Where do you want me to put this?
Mr. Telephone Man, I think you shall better put it outside the hall so the neighbors shouldn't ring too much, mein bell.
You should have ordered a booth instead of a private wire.
Mr. Telephone Man, where do you put the nickels?
You don't put any nickels.
Oi, this is a beautiful one. Look, all the robe. Can you imagine you put your mouth here and you give talk, hello, and right away it answers you back.
Say, missus, don't make me laugh. You got it upside down. That's part knee and ear. See? Like this.
Oh, this is a country full from surprises. Such a brains what people got.
This is NBC Radio Network. Let's sound a round of applause to the cast. It's time once again for another episode of Our Miss Brooks. Well, last Friday fell on the 13th, the cautious day for the superstitious. But to our Miss Brooks, who teaches English at Madison High, it didn't mean a thing.
No, indeed. Even when my landlady told me our cat Minerva came home with 2 black kittens, I just laughed and said, Minerva didn't say a word to me about this.
Oh, the kittens aren't Minerva's. I don't know who they belong to. All I know is that we can't afford to keep them. I have an idea. We can take them to the Snodgrass pet shop until we locate the owners. Stretch's father has all sorts of animals there.
That's true, he even has Stretch.
Stretch is certainly a fine athlete.
Now, if there was only some way to exercise his brain. Oh, don't worry about the kittens. I'll have Walter Denton drop them off at the pet shop on our way to school this morning.
Good. And one more thing, Connie. Would you deliver this jar to Mr. Conklin when you get to school? It's a remedy for hiccups. It contains juniper juice, clove, oil, vinegar, vanilla extract, and baking soda.
Well, will they find out what's in it at the autopsy?
It's my own recipe. It's very good. Mrs. Conklin called last night and told us he got the hiccups after he found out the superintendent of schools is visiting him this afternoon.
Mr. Michaels? Why should he give Mr. Conklin the hiccups?
It's a nervous reaction. It seems Mr. Michaels wants to chat with Osgood about the way he's running Madison.
You mean if Mr. Michaels finds fault, there's a chance that Mr. Conklin may not be back? Cut it out, Connie. You're too old to live in a dream world. Oh, that's Walter Denton. Come in, Walter.
I've got to clean those dishes I used for the kitten's milk.
Why don't you let Minerva do the dishes? They're her friends.
Hi, Miss Brooks. Did I hear Mrs. Davis mention kittens?
Just some new acquaintances, Walter. We're dropping them off at Stretch's pet shop on the way to school.
Oh, swell. Stretch loves animals.
I hope you're not superstitious, Walter. These are black cats, and today is Friday the 13th.
That doesn't bother me, Miss Brooks. This is going to be a better day in my memory.
Translation?
Have you heard of Cure the Habit Incorporated?
The outfit that helps people overcome alcoholism?
Yes, ma'am. We got a big ad in the papers. Sent for our instructive literature, telling how you too can be cured. Well, day before yesterday I sent for it, but I didn't sign my name. I printed the name of Osgood Conklin.
Walter, Mr. Conklin doesn't drink. He's a teetotaler.
That's the humor of it.
It'll turn him purple.
Well, that would be picturesque, but I still don't think it's right. Does Harriet know about this?
Of course not. She's his daughter. She likes him.
Well, she's right in other ways. Now, come on, Walter. We've got to get going if we're dropping those kittens off.
Okay, Miss Brooks. Oh, one more thing. Everything I told you about this joke I'm pulling is strictly confidential.
Don't worry, Walter. Your secret is safe with me.
In a practical joke like this, it's great to know somebody else is in it with you up to her ears.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Miss Chalmers. What can I do for you?
Mr. Michaels, as superintendent of schools, are you acquainted with the principal of Madison High School?
Oh, yes, that's Osgood Conklin, as a matter of fact. I'm going to see him this afternoon.
I'd like to go with you. My son attends Madison, and I'm anxious to find out the meaning of this postcard. It was sent to Cure That Habit Incorporated. That's my firm. Says, please send me all your literature. I am determined to rid myself of the curse of alcoholism once and for all. It's signed Osgood Conklin.
Here we are, Miss Brooks, old Madison High.
The Snodgrass Pest Shop doesn't open until 9. What are we going to do with these kittens, Walter?
Mr. Conklin's awfully strict. The only animals are in Mr. Boynton's lab. Oh, say, we could keep them here until lunch.
That's right. Come on, Walter, let's take them in. Then Stretch can take them over to his dad's shop later on. Where are the kittens?
In my pocket. See, here's one.
Meow.
And there's the other one.
Meow. Hello, Miss Brooks.
Hello, Harriet.
Hiya, Harriet. Well, I've got to run now. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, Walter.
Are your dad's hiccups gone yet, Harriet?
Yes, Miss Brooks. They disappeared about an hour ago.
but every time something unpleasant happens, it brings them on again.
Well, maybe this remedy that Mrs. Davis sent will be of help. I'd better take it into him right now.
All right, Miss Brooks, see you in class.
Come in.
It's me, Mr. Conklin.
Oh, Miss Brooks. Well, they're back.
Maybe you should see a doctor, Mr. Conklin.
Saw one yesterday. Told me to relax and they'd go away. What's in the jar?
It's a hiccup cure that Mrs. Davis asked me to give you. She made it herself.
What's in it?
Juniper juice, clove oil, a dash of vinegar, vanilla extract, and some baking soda.
I'd rather have the hiccups.
Mr. Conklin, try some of Mrs. Davis's remedy.
Well, I'll take just one swallow. Give it here.
What does it taste like?
Tastes like... It tastes like... It tastes like...
What's the difference as long as it does the job? After giving Mr. Conklin the antidote for the hiccup remedy, promptly at noon I found myself at Mr. Boynton's biology lab.
Come in. Oh, it's you, Miss Brooks. I'm glad you dropped by.
Really, Mr. Boynton?
Yes, you've got to get these cats out of here.
Oh. Don't worry. Walter asked Stretch to take them to the Snodgrass pet shop.
Oh, that's good.
Where are they, Mr. Boynton?
Well, I had to keep them in a cage, away from the white mice. Here they are. They love to be petted.
Hello, Mr. Boynton. Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt. Are these the cats Walter wants me to take down to the shop?
That's right, Stretch. Do you think you can handle them?
Oh, sure. I love animals. Gosh, animals are smarter than a lot of people whom I'm acquainted with.
Oh, you don't say.
Mr. Boynton, you got a bullfrog in here I'd like to show my dad.
You mean my pet, McDougal?
Oh, no, sir. I mean this big fellow over here. Hiya, boy. Hiya, big fella. See, he knows me. Hiya, big fella.
He certainly talks your language.
If you let me have him, Mr. Boynton, I'll give you my snake, Clarence. He's right here in my pocket.
Snake!
Don't be scared. He's harmless. Isn't he, Mr. Boynton?
That's right. Of course, Miss Brooks. This little creature's not poisonous. It's just a milk snake.
That's right. He couldn't possibly hurt anyone, Miss Brooks. He's just a baby.
When I was a baby, I bit people all the time. Take him away, please.
Stretch, you can keep your snake. And take my frog along, too.
Gee, thanks, Mr. Boynton. I'll take awful good care of him.
Don't forget the kitten, Stretch.
It's a good thing I wore my sport jacket today. I can put the kittens in my side pockets, the frog in my inside pocket, and Clarence in the breast pocket.
Too bad you're not a kangaroo. You could give me a lift to the cafeteria.
I can't. I've got to go to clean the principal's office. Mr. Conklin's expecting the top brass. The superintendent of the schools is coming. Mr. Conklin says you should expect his office when I get through to see that everything's spick and span.
Me?
That's right. Well, I got to get going. See you in a little while, Miss Brooks. Thanks for the keen frog, Mr. Boynton.
You're welcome, Stretch.
Well, that's just dandy. Now I will be able to accept your charming invitation to lunch, Mr. Boynton.
What invitation? Oh, Miss Brooks, maybe we could have a quick lunch with me and then inspect Mr. Conklin's office.
I hate to disappoint you, but that's just what I'm going to do.
There, Mr. Conklin's office looks neat as a pin. Don't you think so, Miss Brooks?
Yes, it looks very nice, Stretch. Mr. Conklin will be very pleased when he gets back from lunch.
I hope so. Now I'll put my jacket back on and get these animals to the... Hey, wait a minute. They're gone.
Who's gone?
Everybody. I'm missing the frog and the snake and the kittens, too. They must have crawled out of my pocket when I set my jacket down.
Oh, no, we've got to find them before Mr. Conklin gets back.
I'm back. Let's see how the place looks.
Mr. Conklin?
Hey, you've done a nice job, Stretch.
Gee, thanks, Mr. Conklin.
Stretch, you can run along now. Miss Brooks, you'll stay to help me find some papers.
Yes, sir.
But Mr. Conklin...
I already thanked you, Stretch. Now go.
Okay, if you say so.
Now, Miss Brooks, I've been trying to locate the report that I made to the Board of Education. Will you kindly look in my top dress drawer?
Very well, Mr. Conklin.
Meow.
It's not in there.
You hardly looked.
I saw enough.
No, let me look for myself.
Meow.
You were right. Nothing in here but a cat.
Meow.
Maybe it's in this other drawer. Oh, just another cat. Well, in that case, just another cat? Miss Brooks, what are these cats doing on my desk?
Looking for the report? I'll have them removed at once.
Gee, did you do? But first look in my filing cabinet under B for board.
Yes, sir.
Ribbit.
What are you doing here? You should be under F for frog. It's not here, Mr. Conklin.
Let me look. I see one letter from the board and one invitation to a barbecue.
Right.
And one frog, one notice of a board meeting, one letter from... One frog? Miss Brooks, there's a frog hovering around in my filing cabinet.
Frog?
Yes, what'll I do?
Why don't you hit him with the snake that's crawling on your lapel?
That's a good idea. I think I'll take this snake and I'll... Take this snake?
Just file him under S.
What's going on here, Miss Brooks? That snake bit me. I'm poisoned.
Oh, he couldn't have bitten you. He's too small.
Quick, take me to first aid.
Now, just sit in this swivel chair and relax, Mr. Conklin. I'll be right back.
As you say, Miss Brooks.
Hiya, Miss Brooks. I got all the animals out of Mr. Conklin's office.
Good, Stretch. He thought your snake bit him, but it's just a little bruise. I was looking for some rubbing alcohol, but first aid is all out.
I'll get you some over at the gym. But first, I'd like to cheer Mr. Conklin up. Hiya, Mr. Conklin. Let's see your hand.
See there? It's black and blue.
Ah, the skin ain't even broke. You got nothing to worry about, Mr. Conklin.
Thank you, doctor. Now the hiccups are back again.
After hearing meow and rivet all day, it's a relief to hear a hiccup.
I know a sure cure for hiccups, Mr. Conklin. Just sit back in that swivel chair and hang on.
I am sitting back.
Nah, swell. Now we'll just start spinning you around.
Stretch, stop that.
Stretch, you mustn't spin Mr. Conklin like that.
We've got to spin it faster.
Oh, no, Stretch.
Stop this at once.
Stretch.
You hear me? Stop it, I say.
Stretch, stop.
There.
Daddy, I've been looking all over for you.
Who are these three girls that just came in?
It's just me, Daddy, Harriet. Mr. Michaels is waiting for you in your office.
Thank you, Harriet. I'll just get up and, I'm so dizzy. I can hardly stand.
Maybe you ought to spin around the other way for a while.
Let me help you up, Mr. Conklin.
I'll deal with you later, boy. Miss Brooks, will you go tell Mr. Michaels I'll be right there? I'll lean on Harriet until I feel a little stronger.
So, you see, Mr. Michaels, I certainly don't want my boy in a school run by someone who has come to my firm for assistance.
There must be some mistake, Miss Chalmers. I've known Osgood Conklin for many years, and he's not a drinking man.
Good day, gentlemen. I'm Miss Brooks. Mr. Conklin will be here in a minute.
I'm Mr. Michaels, and this is Miss Chalmers.
How do you do? How do you do?
Tell me, Miss Brooks, how is Mr. Conklin feeling these days?
Oh, just fine. He's never been better.
You see, Mrs. Chalmers, one look at Mr. Conklin will convince you that he's not the type of person who sends postcards to cure that habit incorporated.
Hello, Mr. Michaels. I'm sorry I'm late. Whoa!
Let me help you up, Mr. Conklin.
I must have tripped. Who are these gentlemen with you?
These gentlemen are Mrs. Chalmers. Shake hands with the one in the middle.
Pleasure to know you, Mrs. Chalmers.
That's Mr. Michaels. This is Mrs. Chalmers.
Oh, of course. I'm glad to shake your hand, Mrs. Chalmers.
You're shaking her umbrella.
What seems to be the matter, Mr. Conklin? Having trouble with your vision?
Oh, yes, that's it. I broke my glasses this morning. Well, I just sit down at my desk and whoa.
Michaels, look at him stagger.
Incredible, Miss Brooks. You say Mr. Conklin never felt better?
That's right. You should have seen him an hour ago. Boy, what hiccups.
Hiccups?
Yes, I get them when I'm startled.
And what may I ask startled you?
He opened his desk drawer this morning and saw a cat in it.
Tell me, Mr. Conklin, in which drawer did you see the cat?
Well, the first cat I saw was in this drawer.
In this drawer, Mr. Conklin?
No, there's another cat in there. It was the one in here that startled me.
Would you mind showing us your cats, Mr. Conklin?
Not at all. They're right here in these drawers. They're gone!
They come and they go, Mr. Conklin?
Miss Brooks, where are the cats?
They disappeared right after I took you to first aid. But he really did see them.
The next thing you'll probably tell us that there's a bullfrog in the filing cabinet.
Hey, how did you know?
There must be some error here.
Yes, he was filed under B instead of F.
Well, Mr. Michaels, now do you believe me?
I'm afraid I do, Miss Chalmers. Conklin, I don't want to seem cruel, but if you want to stay on as principal of the school...
Pardon me, folks. Here's your alcohol, Mr. Conklin.
I'll take a stretch.
Miss Brooks, that alcohol's for Mr. Conklin?
Yes, it's for where the snake bit him.
Snake?
Oh, it didn't really bite him, he just thought it did.
So you saw a snake too, Mr. Conklin?
Yes, I did. Right on my lapel. Though I'm told that he's not poisonous, I assure you, if I ever see him again... Wait a minute. He's under your chair, Mrs. Chalmers. Look out! I'll get him! I'll get him! I'll get him! There!
Good for you, Mr. Conklin. You've just killed Mrs. Chalmers' umbrella.
I'm getting out of here. This man is dangerous.
I'll go with you, Miss Chalmers. As for you, Mr. Conklin, I'll talk to you when you're sober.
Sober?
Miss Chalmers is head of the Cure That Habit Incorporated.
Oh, no.
This postcard she received yesterday explains why she called me this morning. Good day.
What does that have to do with me? Miss Brooks, read this card for me.
It says, "Dear Cure That Habit, kindly send me all your literature. I am determined once and for all to rid myself of the curse of alcoholism." And it's signed Osgood Conklin.
Osgood Conklin?
Mr. Conklin, I know who wrote this postcard. It was only a little Friday the 13th prank, but I'm honor bound not to mention who did it.
Such loyalty is worthy of a better fate than the one which you are about to suffer. Do you know what's in store for you?
I believe I do, Mr. Conklin. Pass me the rubbing alcohol. I might as well have one for the road. Well, much to my surprise, Mr. Conklin didn't dismiss me on the spot, but he did insist that we go down to Mr. Michael's office immediately after school. But Mr. Conklin, what good will that do?
If you won't tell me who sent that postcard, perhaps you'll tell the superintendent of schools. Now you wait right here. I'm going to get my hat and coat out of this closet.
Yes, Mr. Conklin.
Hi, Miss Brooks. Gee, I'm glad Mr. Conklin's not here. Look. Here's another ad for a cure that habit. I'm gonna sign his name to this one too. Boy, I wish I could see his face when he finds out.
Oh, Walter, I'll bet it'll be positively purple.
I bet he will turn all colors of the rainbow.
Mr. Conklin? Oh, no. Miss Brooks, what should I do?
There's only one thing you can do, Walter. Run!
Ah!
Next week, tune in for another episode of our Miss Brooks. This is CBS, the radio, Columbia Broadcasting System. Let's have a round of applause for the cast. Our program returns in just a moment, but first a word from our sponsor, Luster Cream Shampoo.
Tonight, show him how much lovelier your hair can look after a Luster Cream Shampoo.
No other shampoo in the world gives you a magic blend of secret ingredients.
Not a soap, not a liquid. Luster Cream Shampoo leaves hair 3 ways lovelier.
Fragrantly clean, glistening with sheen.
Soft and manageable, even in hardest water.
Lathers instantly, no special rinse needed.
So gentle. Luster cream is wonderful, even for children's hair.
Try Luster Cream Shampoo, the world's finest shampoo.
Dream girl, beautiful Luster Cream girl, you owe your crowning glory to Luster Cream Shampoo.
Thank you, ladies. And now, once again, back to the show. Colgate Dental Cream and Luster Cream Shampoo bring you another episode of our Miss Brooks. Well, with the holiday season practically with us, to our Miss Brooks, who teaches English at Madison High School, it means just more than a respite from the rigors of a difficult school term.
It means I'll get a chance to relax and observe the spirit of good fellowship as Christmas approaches. I only hope our beloved principal, Mr. Osgood Conklin, will get a little on him. I was talking about his temper to my landlady Friday morning at breakfast. Mrs. Davis, everything I do seems to rub Mr. Conklin the wrong way.
What do you mean, honey?
Yesterday I was in his office when I saw his lighted cigar lying on the rug. Naturally I picked it up, wouldn't you?
I gave up smoking a long time ago.
I didn't want the office to catch on fire, so I put the cigar in an ashtray, and he was furious.
Because you put the cigar in an ashtray?
Well, it wasn't exactly an ashtray, it was an inkwell.
And it went out.
That wasn't the end I put in the inkwell.
Aha.
He's so unreasonable. You'd think having a blue tongue was a crime.
Maybe it was the taste. He often has been a finicky eater. But forget about Mr. Conklin.
I'll do my best. Say, that's quite a batch of mail you've got there.
Oh, these are the letters from all the kids in the neighborhood. It's for the contest. The child who writes the best letter to Santa Claus gets his choice of any toy at Bush's department store.
Are you Santa's helper?
Well, I just gather them up and drop them off. They write such cute letters. Reminds me of the one you wrote back when you were 7 years old. You know, the one in that scrapbook you showed me last night. Read it again. I get such a kick out of it.
All right. It says, Dear Sandy Claus. Look at the spelling. SANDYCLAWS.
I get such a kick out of it. Read on, dear.
Please, Sandy, bring me a slate, some chalk, and an eraser on account of when I grow up, I want to be an English teacher, signed Connie Brooks, age 7. Even at that tender age, I was already planning my future, a future of poverty.
Let me see it again. It is so cute. I'll just set these letters aside, and I'll get us some coffee.
Thanks, Mrs. Davis, but I'd better hurry. Walter Denton is giving me a lift. Do you need a ride?
Oh, no, thank you. I'm going over to Bush's department store now to see,
so aromatic this morning. Wait, there's a cigar on the seat.
Oh, probably dropped out of my dad's pocket. I drove him to work this morning.
Say, do you mind if I keep it? It might make a nice gesture for Mr. Conklin, and I could sure use one.
Sure, my dad's pocket full of cigars. What's wrong with old Marblehead? Mr. Conklin. Are you at the doghouse, Miss Brooks?
Where I am shouldn't happen to a dog. Maybe this little peace offering will help. It smells awfully sweet for a cigar.
Oh, that smell isn't the cigar, Miss Brooks. That's Miss Enright.
Where is she, in the glove compartment?
No. I dropped her off at the beauty parlor. She's wearing a new perfume called Voodoo. Kind of changes the upholstery, doesn't it?
Just like Miss Enright, she clings to the upholstery. Sorry, Walter, I shouldn't speak that way about another member of the faculty.
Oh, I know there's no love lost between you two. Although Miss Enright did pay you a nice compliment this morning. She said it was wonderful how you taught the subject of English.
Miss Enright said that?
She said anybody who could teach a language, in spite of her obvious difficulty speaking that language, should get a medal.
Maybe the hairdryer will fall on her. Walter, did Miss Enright mention her reason for going to the beauty parlor this morning?
She said she's going out with Mr. Boynton after school.
But today's the day Mr. Boynton usually takes me to the zoo.
Well, it's also Miss Enright's birthday. And she came right out and told me her age.
How old did she say she was, Walter?
27. I guess that's why Mr. Boynton's taking her out today instead of you.
He didn't take her out last year on her 27th birthday. Or the birthday before that, when she was 28.
Oh, Miss Brooks, I detect the presence of a green-eyed monster.
She's not back from the beauty parlor yet. It makes me so mad the way some women keep their age hidden. If anyone wanted to make it their business, they could find out my age in a minute.
Really? How old are you, Miss Brooks?
None of your business, Walter.
Here we are. Here we are, and there's Mrs. Conklin going up to his office. There's your chance of slipping that cigar, Miss Brooks.
Right, Walter. See you in class. Good morning, Mr. Conklin.
Good morning, Miss Brooks.
Have a cigar? I just happen to have it on me, and it's brand new, no ink on it.
Oh, thank you, Miss Brooks. Now, if you excuse me, I'll withdraw to the safety of my office.
Yes, sir, Mr. Conklin.
Goodbye.
Good morning, Miss Brooks.
Hello, Miss Enright. Walter Denton tells me today's your birthday.
Why, yes, it is.
Happy birthday.
I shall bask in the warmth of that greeting all day.
I'm sorry, Miss Enright, but I don't think it's fair of you to make Mr. Boynton break his date with me because it's your birthday.
Oh, I didn't make him do anything, Miss Brooks. It's obviously a matter of preference.
Now look, Miss Enright, I don't want to be rude, especially since your birthday has been celebrated for countless generations. But every Friday, Mr. Boynton takes me to the zoo.
My dear, if the zoo wants you badly enough, they'll come and get you. If you'll excuse me, I've got to find Walter Denton's car. I left a cigar in the front seat.
Was that your cigar? I thought you smoked a pipe.
It's for Mr. Boynton. He loves practical jokes, so I bought that cigar for him at the magic shop.
The magic shop?
Yes, it's an exploding cigar.
Oh no, I've got to get to Mr. Conklin's office right away. Mr. Conklin, about the cigar I gave you, sir.
Oh, yes, Miss Brooks.
Oh, Mr. Conklin, are you all right?
Why, yes, Miss Brooks, I'm dandy, but there's soot all over my face. What do you suggest I do about that?
Just tell everyone you're taking a side job as a chimney sweep. I finally convinced Mr. Conklin that the cigar episode was an innocent mistake. When lunch finally dragged around, I dashed to the cafeteria to see if Miss Enright was with Mr. Boynton. She wasn't, so in 4 seconds, I was. I waited for him to break our date, but he remained silent. So I subtly remarked, "Is I is, or is I ain't your baby?"
What did you say, Miss Brooks?
Nothing, Mr. Boynton. Just that there's a distinct feeling of guilt emanating from you.
Guilt? What makes you say that?
You paid for my coffee.
Oh, all right. You pay for mine next time.
I paid for yours last time. We're even. But today is Friday, Mr. Boynton, and we usually go to the zoo on Friday. Isn't that so?
Yes, that's so.
Well, as I is, or as I ain't your baby.
If you mean, am I keeping our engagement, Miss Brooks? Well, a funny thing happened this morning.
On your way to the rabbit's cage?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was in my lab when I remembered an appointment I made this afternoon with someone else.
Namely?
My grandmother. That's it, my grandmother. Came into town this morning, and I promised to take her out for the day. She's rather helpless, you see, because she's quite far along in years.
You're not just clapping your crockery, Doc. It so happens that I know your grandmother.
You do?
Yes, she's 27 years old and she teaches English at Madison High School.
Miss Brooks, rather than stoop to deception, I better be honest. What I told you just now about my grandmother really isn't true.
No.
I made a date with Miss Enright for today, but only because of her birthday. She told me her folks live in another part of the country.
My folks live in another part of the country.
Well, Miss Enright also said she didn't have too many friends.
I don't have too many friends.
Miss Enright is turning 27 years old.
My folks live in another part of the country.
I'm sorry, Miss Brooks. Just don't want to hurt your feelings.
Don't worry about my feelings. I sent away for a plastic set.
Hi, Miss Brooks. Hi, Mr. Boynton.
Hello, Harriet.
How are you, Harriet? Would you like to sit down? There's plenty of room at this table.
Thanks, Mr. Boynton, but I've got to take this container of coffee to Daddy.
Is your father lunching in his office, Harriet?
Yes, he's too embarrassed to eat in public. There's something on his neck he can't get off.
The Board of Education?
It's some black stuff. Didn't want to talk about it too much.
Here, Harriet, let me take the coffee down to him.
Oh, but I can do it.
It's the least I can do. You sit here and chat with Mr. Boynton, dear. He's very good company today, loaded with stories.
Well, all right, Miss Brooks, if you say so. Here's the coffee, and here's some extra sugar. Daddy likes it really sweet.
Thanks, Harriet.
I'll see you later, won't I, Miss Brooks?
As we both get older, you mean?
Why don't you drop by my lab after school? Maybe we can work something out. Perhaps we can all have a date together.
Fine, I'll bring my grandfather for Miss Enright.
Come in.
I met your daughter in the cafeteria, Mr. Conklin, and she gave me this coffee to bring you.
Oh, why? What happened to her?
Well, sir, I wanted to atone for some of my earlier transgressions.
Well, don't just stand there. Pour some coffee in a cup for me, please.
Yes, sir, I'll just get this cover off. It's on pretty tight.
Well, I hope it's hot. If there's anything I can't stand, it's cold coffee.
Oh, it's piping hot, Mr. Conklin. I can tell by the way the container feels. But this lid is on too tight.
Oh, let me help you with that.
No, I almost got no.
Yo, it's piping hot. As you can see by the steam rising from my trousers. Miss Brooks, yesterday you dipped my cigar in an inkwell. This morning you gave me a cigar that exploded in my face. And now you poured a container of piping hot down my leg. Well, don't just stand there, Miss Brooks. What have you got to say for yourself?
Is it sweet enough for you, Mr. Conklin?
Come in, but only if it isn't Miss Brooks.
Are you Osgood Conklin?
I am.
Have you heard of Bush's department store?
I have.
Well, I'm Bush.
Well, I'm a little poop myself. Sit down.
To be brief, Mr. Conklin, each year Bush's department store has a contest for children who write the best letters to Santa Claus. We like to choose a prominent citizen from the community to play Santa for the occasion. Hence, I visit here.
My dear Mr. Bush, if you're suggesting that I involve myself with the squalling of hundreds of children in a department store, put it out of your mind immediately.
But Mr. Conklin.
I'm a man of extremely high blood pressure, and acute hypertension. Playing Santa to a band of yelling brats is out of the question.
But I've invited all the photographers and reporters, Mr. Conklin. You'll get a 2-column picture in every paper.
No, it's absolutely unthinkable for, I'm sorry, did you say a 2-column picture?
Of course. We picked the winning letter, and you're the ideal choice to present the grand prize this afternoon.
Why me?
You're a school principal, and the contest winner is a little girl who wants to be a teacher when she grows up.
A teacher? Well, I'd hate to disappoint a child, especially this misguided little tyke. What time shall I be there, Mr. Bush?
4 o'clock sharp. And thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
You're welcome. Now, if you excuse me, I must inspect some new gym equipment.
Of course, Mr. Conklin. Oh, before I leave, may I use your phone?
Certainly, right there on my desk. See you today at 4, Mr. Bush.
Right, thank you. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Mrs. Davis?
This is Mr. Bush at Bush's department store. My secretary gave me your phone number and told me what a grand job you did gathering the children's letters for our Letter to Santa contest.
I was glad to help, Mr. Bush.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis. There's just one bit of information I need. Do you know where Connie Brooks lives?
Connie Brooks? Certainly. She lives right here with me.
What a coincidence. Can I speak with her?
Not right now. She's still in school.
Oh, of course. It's not 3 o'clock yet.
I was just getting ready to pick her up. One of the students usually takes her home, but he's busy today.
I see. Well, Mrs. Davis, instead of taking her home, bring Connie right over to our store.
What for?
You'll see, Mrs. Davis. What kind of toys does she like?
Toys? Connie doesn't play with toys.
Oh, the serious type, eh? Well, bring her on right over after school so she can enjoy a nice romp in the sand pile. And don't tell her why she's coming to the store. I'd like it to be a surprise.
Oh, it'll be a surprise, all right.
Will you please tell me what we're doing in Bush's department store, Mrs. Davis? I haven't enough money to do any shopping.
Be patient, Connie. We'll know soon as I locate Mr. Bush. Let's head for the sand pile. It's over in the toy department.
Oh, all right. Look, there's Mr. Boynton.
Oh, hello, Miss Brooks. Mrs. Davis.
Hello, Mr. Boynton. Excuse me just a moment, I'll go find Mr. Bush.
Well, Mr. Boynton, doing a little last-minute Christmas shopping?
Not exactly, Miss Brooks. Miss Enright asked me to come here right after school. She's crazy about children and says they're having some sort of a contest today.
Where is she?
Picking up a new roaster. She says next to children, she likes nothing better than cooking and doing housework. I'm sorry I didn't see you after school, Miss Brooks. Miss Enright insisted we leave at once. After all, it is
Her birthday, I know, and here she comes.
I just got the most charming pop, darling. Oh, hello, Miss Brooks. What a surprise.
Hello again. Cooked any interesting children lately?
Ladies, please, let's get over to the toy department. They're ready for the ceremony.
Oh, Mr. Boynton, I just adore toys.
Why don't you act your age?
Come on, Miss Brooks. I see Mrs. Davis is in the front row.
Quiet, please, children, quiet. Here, without further ado, is your old friend, Santa Claus.
Oh, Merry Christmas, kiddies!
Why, that's Mr. Conklin.
Is it really?
Ho, ho, ho!
Of course it is. I'd recognize that bloodthirsty cheerfulness anywhere.
Santa, here's the prize-winning letter in the contest. Read it out loud, and we'll surprise the author, who I know is among those listening.
Surely. It says, Dear Sandy Claus, spelled C-L-A-W-S.
Wait a minute, that sounds awfully familiar.
Please, Sandy, just bring me a slate, some chalk, and an eraser. 'Cause when I grow up, I want to be an English teacher. Signed, Connie Brooks, age 7. Now if this little girl will step up.
Oh, no.
Now let's get her up to the platform. Where are you, honey?
Yoo-hoo, Mr. Bush. She's standing right next to me. I'm Mrs. Davis.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Davis.
The girl you're looking for is right here.
What? Who are you?
I'm Connie Brooks, age 7.
Miss Brooks, what is the meaning of this?
Is this a hoax?
No hoax, gentlemen. I actually was 7 years old when I wrote that letter. Mrs. Davis must have absent-mindedly put my letter in with the other kids.
You were never that young, darling.
Oh, this is terrible. The press will be here any minute. Give me the bag of toys, Mr. Conklin. This girl gets nothing.
Whoa, hold on there, Mr. Bush. The contest rules state the winner must be a child. Miss Brooks really was 7 years old when she wrote that letter. She's entitled to take home anything she wants from the toy department.
Yeah, give her a toy, Miss Harper.
I think you've got something there, Mr. Boynton.
This is terribly embarrassing. Miss Brooks, if you'll just leave before the press arrives, you may have anything you desire in the toy department. What do you want?
Mr. Bush, do you see this gentleman here? This is Mr. Boynton. I'll take him. Wrap him up.
Be with us again. Be with us again next week for another episode of Our Miss Brooks. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Let's have a round of applause for the cast. It's Christmas Eve, and the Bickersons have not retired. Mrs. Bickerson is busy wrapping presents in the bedroom, while her husband John, exhausted as he is from the pre-holiday activity, puts the finishing touches to the tree which stands proudly in the kitchen, the only other room in the Bickersons' small apartment. Listen.
John, will you bring the scissors, please? John, what is he doing in there? Oh, no. How can a man fall asleep on a ladder? I haven't got the heart to wake him. I'd better get him off of there. John. John.
Oh, what's the matter, Blanche? What happened? Huh?
Oh, you poor dear, did you hurt yourself?
No, I'm all right. How'd I fall off that ladder? I must have fainted.
Yes, dear, you were fainting like a log when I came in. Why, John.
What?
You never even touched your dinner. Not a morsel of it.
I don't like the looks of it, Blanche.
Oh, stop that talk. It's perfectly good food. You let it sit there on the kitchen table for hours getting cold. You want me to warm it up for you?
No, just tell me what's on that big plate.
Are you trying to be funny, John?
I'm not trying to be funny, Blanche. What is it?
You know very well I can only cook two things, liver and rice pudding.
Well, which one is that?
How can you be so nasty on Christmas Eve, John?
Blanche, I just asked you a question, that's all. I didn't think it was liver because your liver looks like rubber heels. That stuff looked like scrambled eggs, so I thought it might be rice pudding.
Why don't you taste it and find out?
I'm not hungry.
That's why you're always tired, John. You just don't eat enough.
I eat plenty.
Well, what did you have for lunch today?
Well, you ought to know. You packed it for me. Listen, Blanche, I'm tired of carrying my lunch to the office in paper sacks. Why can't I go to a restaurant like the other fellows?
John, what are you talking about? I haven't fixed your lunch for 2 years.
Oh, Blanche, every morning of my life I find my lunch wrapped in brown paper on the side of the sink.
Lunch? That's the kitchen scraps.
How do you like that? No wonder I never have an appetite. Why do you do that to me, Blanche?
Go on, eat some dinner and finish the trimming the tree.
I don't want any dinner. I want to go to sleep.
Aren't you gonna finish the tree?
I can do it in the morning.
But John, tomorrow morning is Christmas Day. I expect a lot of people to drop in. The butcher's coming and the milkman and...
Listen, Blanche, I can't afford to give those guys presents. Why do you invite them over?
I didn't invite them. They're coming here to collect their bills.
Bills? What bills? I gave you money for bills.
Well, I had to buy presents, didn't I? My sister Clara sent me a package, so I had to get her something in return.
No, you didn't. Nobody asked her to send you anything.
Well, she did just the same. So I bought her a bottle of perfume.
How much was that?
$24.
$24? Why, nobody can carry that much perfume.
It was only an ounce, silly. It's the latest perfume. Very daring. It's called Perhaps.
Perhaps? For $24 you should get positively.
Don't be so crabby, John. We're not going to fight on Christmas Eve no matter what happens. Remember, you promised.
Okay.
I'm not even going to get mad because you didn't send me a Christmas card.
I did send a Christmas card.
It isn't necessary to make excuses or alibis, John. I'm going to forget it entirely.
I don't have to make excuses. I did send you a Christmas card. I mailed it 5 days ago.
John, you promised you wouldn't shout.
Well, then why are you goading me like this? You know I wouldn't say I sent you a Christmas card unless I had.
I never received it.
Well, then it got lost in the mail.
That's possible.
Thank heaven.
All the other cards came.
That doesn't mean anything. One card can get lost, can it?
If you sent it.
I did send it. I swear I sent it. Had a wonderful poem on it. A beautiful picture. It was trimmed with lace. Cost me $1.
All right, John.
Well, do you believe me?
Let's not discuss it anymore.
Okay.
But I hope you don't forget to send one next year.
Ah, what's the use? All right, so I didn't send you a card.
That's all. Why didn't you admit it before?
There was nothing to admit. I just said I didn't send it to end an argument, but I really sent it.
What did it say on it?
It said, Merry Christmas to my love.
That could be anybody.
Let me finish. It said, Merry Christmas to my love, my wife, my life, my turtle dove. Life with you is great it seems. I love you more than pork and beans.
You're only adding insult to injury, John.
Well, how do I know what it said? I can't remember what. What's that line on the newspaper? There it is. There's my card.
So it is. See, you didn't have to get so excited after all. Thank you, darling. It's a lovely card.
Wear it in good health. Well, let's open the presents and then go to sleep.
Well, how could you, John? You know we never open presents until Christmas morning. Besides, you haven't finished trimming the tree.
All it needs is a string of lights. One of the bulbs is blown. That kills the whole string.
Can't you buy a bulb?
The store aren't open now. What time is it?
12:05.
Well, that's good. It's Christmas Day. Let's open the presents.
You didn't even hang up your stocking.
I haven't got one that would hold anything. They look like lace curtains. Come on, let's open the presents, Blanche. Come on, huh?
Oh, all right.
Say, we haven't got many this year, have we? Oh, who's this from?
That's from Leo Gooseby. It's amazing how you went to the one shaped like a bottle.
Oh, is that what that is? I hope it's good stuff. That's good. That's not bad at all.
John, that's shampoo.
Shampoo? Why, that chiseled 2-bit Leo. What do I want with a bottle of shampoo? And to think I threw out 39 cents on tie on him. What have you got there?
It's another present for you from your boss.
No kidding. Gee, that's a big one. What is it, Blanche?
A 5-gallon can of lighter fluid.
Well, that's fine. That's just what I need. I don't even own a lighter.
Well, don't feel too bad, John. Maybe you can exchange it for something else.
Last year he sent me a bowling ball case. Must get these things at a rummage sale. I never heard of such presents.
Here's one from me, from Louise Shaw.
Phew, bet that's a Billy.
Oh, Louise always sends something nice. Not expensive, but it usually comes in handy. Well, look at that.
What is it?
It's a polo score pad. Isn't that nice?
That'll sure come in handy. Honest, Blanche, you've got the weirdest collection of friends. Is there anything else?
Just our presents to each other. Why don't you look at what I got you first? And then you can show me what you got for me. Now close your eyes, I'll unveil it.
Well, all right. I hope you didn't spend too much, dear. I really don't want anything.
Open your eyes.
Blanche! Oh, Blanche, darling. Why, that's beautiful. What a dream. A portable bar with a brass rail.
Don't you think a kiss is in order, John?
Oh, a million kisses.
Well, stop kissing the bar. I'm in a kiss from me.
Oh, I'm sorry, darling. It's just too good to be true. Oh, you're wonderful. Blanche, that must have cost a fortune.
John, don't get angry, but I sold my fur coat.
You sold your fur coat?
I wanted you to have the bar, and I didn't have the money.
You sold your coat? That beautiful fur coat that you bought yourself on my birthday? That gorgeous bald mink?
I got $75 for it. The bar cost $85.
Oh, Blanche, you never should have sold that bald mink.
It doesn't matter. I have a cloth coat, and I never get cold.
Yeah, but you don't understand. Open the present I got for you.
I can't wait, John. Oh, a fur muff to keep my hands warm.
Genuine plucked skunk. I had it made special to match that coat. And it can hold 2 full quarts. And you sold the coat.
Well, what's the difference, darling? Someday you'll make a lot of money, and you'll be able to get a coat that matches the muff. I'm very happy, John.
I know, but,
And you still have the gorgeous bar.
that's just it.
What's the matter?
I sold all my bourbon to pay for the muff.
Oh.
Why, that's great, isn't it? What a break for both of us.
I think it's wonderful, John.
What do you mean, Blanche?
I've never been so happy in my life. We both made a sacrifice, and that's worth more than all the gold and precious jewels in the world. Just to know that you gave up a prized possession is proof enough that you love me.
I've always loved you, Blanche. I may holler and rant and act like a first-class crumb sometimes. But you never doubted that I love you, do you?
No, John.
It's been 7 years, honey. Most of it uphill. I haven't showered you with diamonds, but I try not to deny you anything. I suppose we have a little faults, but at least we have a safety valve and let off steam. Some just carry it inside until they break. No, Blanche, I like it this way, and I love you more than anything on earth.
John?
Oh, cut that out. I'll prove how much I love you. Where's that liver? Or rest pudding? Or whatever it is you made.
It's liver.
I'll eat every bit of it, if it kills me. Let's go.
Merry Christmas, darling.
Merry Christmas.
That just about concludes our show. We are going to have a sing-along in just a moment to Sleigh Ride while you are going and enjoying our buffet line. But first, cast, stand up and let's give a great big round of applause to everybody at the show. They were wonderful. And it's a real pleasure to get to work with them. Oh my goodness. Oh, look how wonderful they are. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Happy holidays to you. And now, go ahead and enjoy and say hi to all your friends here while Michaelmhead has a sing-along with us for Sleigh Ride.
Kombucha milk makes the highest quality.
Commercial. Persevere.
Every label features a rescue dog you can adopt.
Just hear those sleigh bells ringing, ring, ring, tingling too. Oh, it's lovely when for a sleigh ride together with you. Outside the snow is falling and friends are calling. On this lovely weather for sleigh ride together with you. There's a birthday party at Oklahoma, Farmer Gray. It'll be the perfect ending of that perfect day. We'll sing songs like you sing, now the jingle song. Pop, 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 there's a happy feeling nothing in the world can buy. Just pass around the coffee and the pumpkin pie. These are in something and belong to our life. These are things that come and belong to our life. Just hear those sleigh bells jingling, ding, ding, ding. On its lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Outside the snow is falling and friends are calling. On its lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Giddy up, let's go. Let's look at the show. We're riding Wonderland of snow. Giddy up, it's grand. Just hold your hand. We're going on with the sight and breathe air. Nice and rosy and comfy close. Snuggle close together like two brothers. Let's take that road before us and shine it forward. On this lovely weather for sleigh ride together. So was I.
Give a round of applause.